this second November episode of Outlook TV. Queens gather together for Queen's Care.
Australian composer Lyle Chan.
Gay apparel Christmas show. And much, much more. Hello and welcome to Outlook TV. I'm Rebecca Wyman.
And I'm Robert Mackay, and you're watching the Queer Magazine news show that brings you the stories that matter the most from coast to coast.
And we've been doing that for 5 years now. Woo! Congratulations to us. We're having a little celebration here at 1181 in Vancouver.
That's right, where the drinks are great and the bartenders are even better.
We're going to kick off this show with Queen's Care.
Covered by our very own Angus. Let's check it out.
We're at Celebrities Nightclub in Vancouver for Queen's Care 9. Tonight, some of Vancouver's top entertainers are going to come out to raise money for charity and honor some of our heroes from the past.
The group of performers is so diverse. There's queens that have been around for decades, and there's queens that have been bursting onto the scene over the last couple of years. So we've got a really good eclectic mix of queens. We've got solos, performances, we've got duets and groups. So a really, really good show planned for tonight.
We'll do a mannequin challenge. Could you tell the audience what that's all about?
The mannequin challenge, where people basically are posed in a position and looks like a mannequin, basically. So different groups have been doing it. So we're going to do it. We've got 27 of these amazing queens all going to be in the green room. So we're going to attempt to do this mannequin challenge while we've got everyone together tonight.
We started many years ago. We didn't realize it was going to become such a huge, amazing event, and it did. And it brings all the community together to be here to show respect to two fantastic individuals who have gone, Dinah Rose and DJ Jules. So this is a testament of love to them, and we're very happy to do it.
Some of the cast in tonight's show were not even born when Diane and I started working at the Old Odyssey on How. Dinah Rose was a wonderful entertainer who was very well known for her wonderful impersonations of Tina Turner, Diana Ross, Grace Jones, Eartha Kitt, and I had the pleasure of working with her for many years. She was really wonderful to be around, and a class act, and certainly one of the finest female impersonators Canada has seen. Jules was wonderful. He was we called him our orchestra leader. He was the DJ, the in-house DJ at the Odyssey nightclub on House Street for forever. He was very, very supportive of drag. All of the ticket price goes to the charities. So this year's charities are the Health Initiative for Men, Out in Schools, and Rainbow Refugee.
Ring them bells, you gotta ring them bells, you gotta make them sing and really ring.
Like, Queen's Care is just an honor to be asked. It's like filled with legends of Vancouver and current sort of leaders of Vancouver, so I'm very honored to be here. I'm going to be doing a solo performance, one of my hits.
So I've been asked to come and perform as the Empress. The money from the money that we raised today is actually coming back to our charities for the Dogwood Monarchist Society. So it's a great event, and I'm really excited to perform.
No, I don't want your number, no, I don't want to give you mine, no.
For Outlook TV, this is Angus Prott at Queen's Care 9 in Vancouver.
Up next, Gary pays a visit to Positive Living and AIDS Vancouver.
And he talks about how these wonderful organizations help people.
As World AIDS Day approaches, we wanted to find out how important AIDS Vancouver is to one of its members.
I'm an ex-hairdresser because of my condition that all my nerve is dead, so I can't do hair all day. So right now I'm kind of like doing a little bit of freelance hairdressing, and then trying to get part-time job.
What services do you use from AIDS Vancouver and Positive Living?
AIDS Vancouver, I come for grocery, and then to talk to the social worker, they're super nice here. And then for Positive Living, I was getting massage, acupuncture, and also that I was lucky enough to get picked to go to the retreat. That was last September. And I came back more positive and got my thinking going the proper way. So I was really, really pleased and happy about that.
Can you describe how you make use of the grocery?
Because we are on a tight budget, and it's nice that they give you the basic, whatever you need, like diary stuff, and then it's like canned soup and canned tuna. And it's all very nutrition stuff, and it won't go to waste, and they give you vegetable, fruit.
Can you tell us what polyester is?
It's a place where you could donate whatever you don't need to the organization, and then it's just a place for people to come and pick what they need. And I even gave them some dress shirts and suits, and they said, "Oh, perfect. Maybe it's for people that are trying to go out to look for jobs."
PHAC implemented a new way of funding across the country, and there's approximately 41 AIDS service organizations that are not being refunded. And most of us have been getting this fund for over 20 plus years. So it was a big shock to us, as it was to the other 41 agencies across the country, that we weren't going to be continuing to see this funding come in. For us, it represents $150,000, which actually funds 3 different programs. Without that funding, those programs will not continue to exist, and the staff in those programs would lose their job. We've now been informed, because of our efforts, that the funding is going to continue for 1 more fiscal year. But our education programs will all be gone, and our volunteer recruitment program will be gone. So I'm not sure how we're going to manage recruiting volunteers once that funding ends. And to replace that funding is very, very difficult.
From the offices of AIDS Vancouver, this is Gary Wolfader for Outlook TV.
We're going to have to take a little break now.
I have a bartender I need to visit.
Let's carry on these 5th anniversary celebrations with this.
Keep it coming.
Are you ready? I certainly am, and so is Dean Nelson, the CEO of Whistler Winter Pride and Ski Festivals.
I know, a quarter century out and proud at Whistler Blackcomb.
So what's planned for this big occasion?
Well, we're really excited to bring in Kim Kuzma. We're flying her in from Mexico to open up the festival. Here in Vancouver, we have the Trocaderos that are playing at Queen Elizabeth on Friday and Saturday night. And then we have Kim Kuzma on Sunday. And then we're bringing in DJ Mickey Friedman from Berlin. He's going to be heating things up at Ferocious. And we have the Cube guys flying in from Milan to do Snowball, our main event. So it's going to be outstanding.
So what kind of headliners are we having for the comedy show?
So we're bringing in Pam Ann. She's this iconic Australian comedian. Her stick is being an air hostess. She's kind of bitchy about it, and she is hilarious. She'll have everybody rolling on the floors. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And what about the drag queens?
The drag queens, well, we have a special show this year with the unstoppable Connie Smudge and Carlotta Girl. They're doing a special show for us called Snow Hose, so that'll be a lot of fun. That's on Tuesday night. Yeah.
And the big Saturday night is?
Big Saturday main event is the Cube guys coming in from Milan. It's going to be a lot of fun. And huge lights, big sound, and we have some special go-go's that will be performing and making everything really, really exciting.
And how many people do you expect this year?
Oh, I think we're going to be right around the 3,000 mark, so it's pretty exciting. We've been marketing this since the spring, and people have been booking early, and our hotels are pretty full already, so if you haven't made reservations yet, you need to get onto it right away because a lot of the weekends are starting to sell out.
So, if you want some more information, check out gaywhistler.com, and everything is there, no doubt, right?
Absolutely.
So we'll see you there.
Are you ready?
Up next, Angus meets with Australian composer Lyle Chan
for the string quartet performance of an AIDS activist's memoir.
We're at the Canadian Music Centre to speak with visiting composer Lyle Chan about String Quartet, an AIDS activist memoir, which is a piece he's performing here for the Queer Arts Festival 2016.
I wrote a piece called String Quartet, an AIDS Activist Memoir in Music, and it's a recollection, a memoir of my early years in Australia in the 1990s, the early 1990s, when AIDS was rampaging, ravaging the gay community, as it was in a lot of first world countries and third world countries. In some ways, you'll see it as a parallel story to what was happening, I'm sure, in Vancouver, other places in Canada, certainly in New York, Los Angeles. And so it's the story of very, very brave people and what they did that led to the end of the crisis period of AIDS. One of the people I pay tribute to is my friend, Jim Cordy. He was a very, very brave man. He broke all kinds of laws in order to get drugs to people who needed them. He actually manufactured them. Now we can tell the story. Back then it was top secret, of course. He was able to get the formula for a drug called DDC, and he made it. But virtually everybody who got illicit DDC in North America and Australia somehow got it from him. What I did was I got the shipment sent from Los Angeles to me in Sydney and gave them out to about 400 people.
For me, and I'm sure for the rest of the quartet, Lyle's music touches on every emotional sort of sense we have as humans, and from deep sadness to passion to anger to loss. It's all there.
I was a full-time activist, and I composed very little music at that time. But, a composer's always a composer. So I kept sketching. It was my way of keeping a record, keeping a sense of my feelings, like a diary. When I met the fantastic Acacia Quartet, they saw one of the pieces. They played it 5 times, and they said, there must be more where this came from. And I told them, well, there's probably, nearly 2 hours of music. And they said, could you please finish them, one piece at a time, and we'll learn and play them.
From the rehearsal of Lyle Chan's String Quartet and AIDS Activist Memoir, this is Angus Pratt in Vancouver.
Up next, we're here in Vancouver
with Robin and the Daily Extra.
Hi, I'm Robin Perel, and I'm the editorial director of DailyExtra.com, Canada's queer news source. Here are some of the stories we've been following in the last few weeks. Toronto police made headlines last week when they announced they'd sent undercover cops to a park for 6 weeks to crack down on sex in the bushes. Police charged 72 people with 89 offenses after the 6-week sting. A spokesperson for the police says it wasn't an anti-gay initiative. She says officers don't know the sexual orientation of the individuals they charged, but she confirms that the vast majority of the people charged were men. A group of lawyers have already stepped forward to help these men defend themselves against the charges they now face. Lawyer Marcus McCann says the police thing has the whiff of homophobia. If police wanted to control consensual sex in a park, there are many less intrusive ways to go about it, he says. He says this kind of undercover sting has the potential to ruin lives. Community members are planning a protest for November 19th. For more on this developing story, go to dailyextra.com. Meanwhile, on Parliament Hill, the federal government is planning to repeal the law that criminalizes anal sex. By law, it's still a crime to have anal sex if you're under 18. It's also a crime to have anal sex if more than 2 people are present or if you're in a public place. The Liberal government plans to change that. Justice Minister Jody Wilson-Raybould says fixing that law is part of a move to extract some of those zombie provisions from the criminal code. On the same day that the Liberals announced their intention to repeal the anal sex law, they also appointed a special advisor on LGBTQ issues. Randy Boissonneau, a gay Liberal MP from Edmonton, says his job will be to advance and protect the rights of the community and address historical injustices that we have endured. Part of Boissonneau's job will be to help the government answer demands for apologies, criminal record pardons, and compensation for people convicted and fired for homosexual activity. The government is currently facing 2 lawsuits seeking compensation for LGBT Canadians pushed out of the military and public service. Speaking of politicians, for years there's been a myth that Vancouver's gay village, the Davie Village, was named after BC's first gay premier. Only it turns out that myth lacks historical evidence. According to the myth, BC's 8th Premier, Alexander Davey, who was in office from 1887 to 1889, was gay and started a private club with some of his gay friends on what is now Davey Street. But Daily Extra columnist Kevin Dale McEwen traced the myth back to its nebulous origins, dug through archives, talked to historians, and came up empty-handed. No evidence to support the claim that Premier Davey was gay. No records, no correspondence, no hints between friends, nothing. So why does this rumor keep resurfacing? Read Kevin's column on dailyextra.com. And for much more local, national, and international news, go to Daily Extra, like our Facebook page, and follow our Twitter feeds. This is Robin Perel from Daily Extra in Vancouver for Outlook TV.
It's time for us to take another little break now.
The first bartender let me down.
Up next, we're off to Halifax, where Gareth talks to fashion designer Vlad.
Check out his stupendous memorial outfit that he created for Orlando.
Thank you, Rebecca and Robert. We're online today with Vlad via Skype, who's a fashion designer in Halifax. Welcome to the show, Vlad. So why did you want to make this outfit for Orlando?
I actually was in Cuba, and at that point, like somebody just like started to talk on the beach about like some shooting. Like nobody knew exactly. So I went to lobby like to get the internet. I log in and I start to read, and I start to cry. And I think that's a reaction like so many of us had like when we knew about the tragedy, because it was so brutal. Kind of like 2016 and tragedy like that happened. It was really hurtful. And at that point, I just start to think like I wanted to do something, but I didn't know what to do. And I decided like to make a dress for the Pride Parade. I was hurt. It feels like somebody from my family was shot. And I think this feelings like not just mine, but millions. I created that outfit. I got that idea with names on it. So I put it together and I found that so many people was touched.
The dress just looks stunning, and it's just, you see the names and the headdress and the neon lights. How did you come up with this design?
My friends helped me to design fabrics, so I told them about my ideas, how I would like to see that fabric. So my friends like helped me to design that fabric, and I sent it to Fabric Wheel in Montreal, and they print fabric for me. Elements on the shoulder, if you could see it closer, it looks like a pulse.
So we understand that you wore this dress at the Halifax and the Montreal Pride Parades. Tell us about your experience.
I was walking and it was everything like in somber mood on the both parades in Halifax and Montreal. Being drag queen, I call myself like we're entertainers, we're clowns, and people who knows me very well, they could see that clown was hurt, clown was sad. And in Montreal, I met group boys and girls from Orlando. They was really touched by this, and actually they was reading names and just they say that they knew like few person from that list. I sent my dress to Orlando, so one of the drag queens supposed to wear that, but unfortunately the dress got lost somewhere.
Thank you very much for sharing your experiences with us, Vlad. And we really hope that they find the dress. Rebecca and Robert, back to you.
Up next, Denise sneaks into a rehearsal for the Leaping Thespians.
For the Christmas show, A Christmas Carol in Gay Apparel.
We are at the Leaping Thespians' secret hideout, where they're practicing for their big debut of the Christmas Carol Gay Apparel.
I want to be the first to thank you, Miss Scrooge, for allowing us to have the Christmas party here. You will be coming, right?
No, you know I don't celebrate Christmas.
But it's the most wonderful time of year. It's a time of giving, of get-togethers, of togetherness.
Exactly. A money grab. Basically, it's like a Christmas carol, but rather than it being Scrooge, it's Scrooge. And rather than Scrooge needing to figure out that he's a miser, it's Eleanor as Scrooge, and she needs to figure out to come out of the closet. So she's visited by the three ghosts, lesbians past, present, and future.
This is our third time putting on Christmas Carol and Gay Apparel. So it's an original play, but it's becoming a traditional holiday must-see experience for anybody who is in the queer community or not in the queer community, but it's becoming a holiday tradition. It's backed by popular demand.
Fools who think that buying junk for others is the way to show you care.
Sort of like our Christmas campaign.
Exactly, a money grab.
How many characters are in the play?
There's over 30 characters, and we have 8 actors doing it. So there's lots of quick costume changes and people appearing and reappearing on stage as in different forms.
So why should people come to see this play for Christmas?
People like to have festive cheer. They like to go to the holiday shows for the holidays. This one is for the queer community, but it is accessible to everyone who loves a laugh. It is good for the general audience, but it is a little bit of a spin on the original Christmas story. So if you want something a bit quirky, a bit funny, with a little bit of drag, a little bit of fun, you want to come see our show. Our greatest stage manager in the world is flying to England and moving away from us, so we are looking for new stage help, lots of behind the scenes, anybody who can help with props and costumes, anyone who could be there at the show to help make sure that these guys are getting on stage on time would be much appreciated.
This is Denise Goldberg with Outlook TV, and we just enjoyed the Leaping Thespians Christmas Carol with Gay Apparel.
Unfortunately, that is all the time we have for this episode of Outlook TV, but we will be back.
Oh, we will, and you can join us if you like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or join us by shooting us an email to OutlookTV.
You can become part of our crew and help us celebrate our 6th anniversary next year.
That's right. Join us. Join us.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Rebecca Wyman.
And I'm Robert Mackay.
Stay fabulous, Canada. Ooh, cake.
Ooh, calories.
Happy anniversary.